Hello, my name is Justin Adams, and welcome to Jay's Days, or should I say, welcome back to my 25 Days of Christmas movies. This is the time where I watch as many Christmas movies without killing myself. Before I get into today's review, I should say that I did a video called Explainin' and Complainin' about how I had this fight with these people on this Facebook page called Cinema Discussions. I want to say right now that Cinema Discussions, the page is awesome. The people that run it are amazing. It was just the certain people. I didn't want to name them. I didn't want to call them out. So I just said Cinema Discussions, and I kind of made Cinema Discussions kind of look bad. And I did not intend on doing that. It's not in Cinema Discussions that did it. They were actually defending me. They were helping me out too. So I appreciate everything that they have done for me, and I do not want that to come off the wrong way. Like, Cinema Discussions are the people that were telling me not to post my videos. It wasn't them. They were encouraging me to do it. It were just assholes that subscribe to them or follow their page on Facebook. So people on Cinema Discussions, I am sorry for if that came out the wrong way. I only meant a few people. I did not mean all of you. I think Cinema Discussions is a great page on Facebook, and I suggest that if you love movies, then I suggest that you go on there right now and join, because it's awesome. We talk about movies all the time. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about today's movie. Today I'm going to be reviewing a movie that almost everybody in the world has forgotten about, but not me. It's Unaccompanied Minors. From the director of Bridesmaids, The Heat, Spy, and the new Ghostbusters that's coming out. Plus, he is the creator of the hit show Freaks and Geeks that launched the career of James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, and more. Now, believe it or not, out of everything that I have just named, yes, even Freaks and Geeks, this movie that I am reviewing, Unaccompanied Minors, is my favorite movie of director Paul Feig's career. That's right. I'm not joking. I think that this movie is far better than any of them. Now, before you guys start freaking out on me, saying, what do you mean by this? It doesn't have Melissa McCarthy. It holds up without her. That just says a lot. It showed what director Paul Feig was all about. This was pre-Bridesmaids. This was pre-female comedy taking over. This was him just being a guy who's trying to branch out from the TV world. Him and Judd Apatow were in the same boat. They were just both TV guys for the longest time. Of course, he's going to sell out a little bit. He's going to do a kids movie called Unaccompanied Minors. But the thing that I love about this movie, I shouldn't say love, but the thing that I absolutely like about this movie is that the kids in this movie are not bad. Number one thing about kids movies that are the problem is that the stories are unbearable, the characters are unwatchable, and the acting is horrendous. This movie, the story is bearable, the kids are likable, and they act just fine. There are no cringeworthy moments. Now, I should say that the main cast, the main kids, are good. The main guy's little sister, though, she is just, I don't like her. Her voice is annoying. She's everything that's wrong with kids' movies. But other than her, everything else in this movie is not bad. Sure, it's slapsticky. Sure, it's comical, and sure that it's over the top, and most of it isn't really believable, but it's a kids movie. It's like Home Alone. It's not as good as Home Alone, but it's a lot like Home Alone. It's about these kids who get stranded and they don't really know what to do, so they take charge and they try to fight. And something to keep in mind is that when I watched this movie, I haven't seen it in a long time. Now, little backstory. When this movie came out, it was not big. It was not successful at all. It's Paul Feig's, probably his worst movie that performed in the box office. But I was pretty much the only person that knew about this movie. I remember when the poster came out, I remember when the trailer came out, and I was like, whoa, this movie looks awesome. And I couldn't see it in the theater because my mom didn't want to see it, my dad didn't want to see it, no one wanted to see it with me. So I had to get a bootleg version of this movie. And I fell in love with it. Now, it came out in 2006, so this is probably the same time that Santa Claus 3 came out. So I was 10 years old, let's say, and I was obsessed with it. I thought this movie was great because it wasn't like any other kids movie that I've seen. It made me as a kid at the time, it made me feel like I was dominating the world. It made me feel like, oh, they care about me too, because some kids movies, they're either really sexualized or they're just more for adults, but they're just marketed as family entertainment. This movie is a kids movie. The story is about when a Christmas Eve blizzard shuts down an airport. 5 kids are stranded and aren't sure what to do. One of their sisters, though, gets separated, so they have to go find her sister before she finds out that there is no Santa. Did you hear that? That's the story. This kid is going to find his little sister so he can give her a gift so she knows that there is still a Santa. This is a kids movie. It shows that it has respect for its children audience and its adult audience. It never actually says that there is no Santa. There's actually like a little glimpse in the beginning and like the opening credits where Santa's flying around the globe. So it's not saying that there is no Santa, but it is saying that this kid is aware that there isn't one, but they don't say it. And I thought that was very, very smart. It was respectful to us adults, like me growing up now watching this movie. I respected that, because when I watched this movie, I probably most likely believed in Santa, and it went over my head, so it's not like I was sitting there and being like, Mom? Now, where it's not mature is the slapstick violence. Now, sure, it's cartoony, but I think that it's a lot better than any other movie that tries doing it, let's say like Flubber. But this movie is slapsticky, but it has a story and a message that is also really good. It talks about divorce, it talks about being separated from your family. It talks about kids that have to spend Christmas all the time in an airport because they have to fly from mom and then to dad. This movie handles all that stuff very, very well, and I think that it gets overlooked, and I feel like people just see the slapstick and they see the trailers and stuff, and they're automatically like, oh god, this is just another Home Alone wannabe. Towards the end you can say it's sappy, but they didn't go too sappy with it. The guy, Lewis Black, by the way, he is so great in this role. He's so funny as this security guard head who wants to go to Hawaii but can't, so he blames everything on these kids. It builds... They put sympathy into the villain already. I like how this movie gives stories to all the characters. It's not just saying, here are some characters. Now, sure, the Wilmer Valderrama part is kind of... He's not really a good actor, but still, I think it overcomes itself. And I love about this movie is that I feel like everyone was just having a great time. I love movies, even when they're not that good, if I can sense that they're having a good time and, like, they're not, like, just giving a phoned-in performance, actually giving in thoughtful performances, I give the movie credit. And this, I give it credit. I like it more than any other kids movie that gets released. I feel like compared to shit that we get now, like the Smurfs, Alvin the Chipmunks, this is a masterpiece. This is Citizen Kane compared to those movies, and I hate that term. It's entertaining, it distracts kids, and it's pretty funny. It has a good message, and it's sweet. There's nothing more you can ask, especially from a Christmas movie. And I love how this is a kid's, again, this is a kid's Christmas movie, and it's not underlining Santa Claus, it's not like giving Christmas magic, it's all, even though it's pretty comical and pretty cartoony, it still is pretty real with its characters. Alright guys, that's what I think about Unaccompanied Minors. What do you guys think about it? Do you guys like it, or do you guys hate it because it has an airport head blaming all of his problems on a bunch of kids? How mean. Alright, if you guys want, you can follow me on Twitter at @I'mJustin_420. And guys, please stay tuned for my 25 days of Christmas reviews. I have so many more for you guys. And again, I apologize for the cinema discussions thing. If you guys want, you can also go on Facebook, type in cinema discussions, join that page now. If you love movies, it is a great page to follow. Alright guys, that's all I got. Thanks for listening.